Seen thousands of people take to the streets around the country, including right here in Portland, to protest the death of George Floyd and racial inequalities.
Yeah, but as we've mentioned, we are still in the midst of a pandemic, with many Oregon counties still only in phase 1 of reopening, as you've seen. Fox 12's Camilla Ortiz has more on what health officials want you to know. Camilla?
Yeah, Pete, I talked to Multnomah County Public Health Director Rachel Banks today, and she said she stands in solidarity with people who are choosing to get together and protest in Portland right now. But there are certain things she wants protesters to know to help reduce their risk of catching or transmitting COVID-19. Since the large-scale gatherings only started several days ago, Banks said it's still too early to tell if there are any impacts from these protests on coronavirus cases in Multnomah County. But health leaders are keeping an eye on it, and they're asking protesters to watch for any symptoms over the next couple of weeks and avoid vulnerable populations like the sick and elderly. Banks said the United States is actually fighting 2 life-threatening pandemics.
One in where the signature symptoms are shortness of breath and the respiratory infections that folks may experience with COVID-19. And where, as a nation, we watched horrifically as George Floyd said, "I can't breathe." And one where across the country, protesters are taking to the streets and chanting, "I can't breathe."
The Oregon Health Authority saying in a statement they also recognize people's right to assemble and protest, but that, quote, large gatherings do raise the risk of transmitting the virus. So we encourage people to taking part in protests to practice the important prevention steps we've been talking about the last 3 months. OHA listed physical distancing, face coverings, washing hands frequently, and replacing used masks as some suggestions. Banks also mentioned it'd be a good idea to immediately change your clothes and wash your hands when you get home after these protests. It's also a good idea to keep high-touch surfaces like doorknobs disinfected. Reporting live in Southeast Portland, Camilla Ortiz, Fox 12 Oregon.